Welcome back to the District Imports YouTube channel. Today, we are going to take a break from the Audi B5 progress, while we wait for some parts, and go over some of the comments. One of the questions is, how do you own a Porsche Cayenne Turbo Coupe, right? And today, I get to show you with one of the District Imports vehicles. So, in our beautiful white Cayenne, the step one, obviously, don't be poor. So step two, now this is where it gets a little interesting. You have to be kind of a masochist. Now, it starts at $182,000 of a price tag. As soon as you miss that first maintenance interval, by the next year, you're dropping almost $60,000 in depreciation. The maintenance is high, right? Depreciation's heavy. You have to be a Porsche fan to have this kind of car. And it's not your typical Porsche, right? It's not your 911, it's not your, Cayman or Boxer. It's an SUV, but it's also not your typical Cayenne, right? This is a coupe. So instead of seating 5, it actually seats 4. It's a few of those things where you gotta have, a reason or justification for purchasing something like this. You got the SUV, right? You got a big vehicle, but you also have that V8 twin turbo. These are all reasons why you would buy this car specifically for this car. So this car coming from the factory gives you a 2.80 to 60 speed. That's insane. And also, they start at $126,000, and that's entry level. So this particular vehicle was optioned at $182,000. And that comes with the lightweight package, gives you the carbon rooftop. These are all things that you have to be a Porsche fan about, right? So this comes with about 580 horsepower from the factory. Now, if you do the APR stage 1, you get about 730 horsepower directly to the crank. That's incredibly impressive numbers, and tuners are not new to this motor. This motor also comes into the Audi RS6 Avant. Also, when you purchase a vehicle at this caliber, it comes with features that you would obviously expect. It has Porsche Dynamic Active Suspension Management. Feels incredibly comfortable on the road, and you can even go off-road with it, which is insane. It's got 22-inch wheels, brakes, and rotors the size of literally somebody else's wheels on their commuter vehicle. It's got a 10-pot front brake, 6-pot rear, and this particular car from the factory comes with Akrapovic titanium exhaust. Insane. Why would you buy a Cayenne Turbo Coupe? Why not? This is exactly an Audi RS6 Avant, but with all of the Porsche features that you would want. It's got a little bit less room. Who cares? You're in a Porsche Cayenne Turbo Coupe. And the sound, man, insane. Absolutely incredible. And that's why you buy a car like this. Every time you step on the gas, that torque is instantly delivered. It scares the living hell out of you. But also remember, it comes at a heavy price tag. So, can't wait to show you what it's like to do the maintenance at home. Jesus. So step 3, you have to be a Porsche fan. I mean, think about it. You're buying a $180,000 Porsche SUV, right? You've got to love all the details about this particular car. Right off the side profile of the car, before you even enter in the cockpit of this car, you got carbon fiber mirrors. You have a carbon fiber rooftop, brakes that can literally stop the rotation of this planet if it needed to, but it chooses not to because it wants to save humanity. You've got that unique sloping roofline that a Sportback would have. We have our aftermarket carbon fiber spoiler to match all of the other accents as well. We've got a carbon fiber diffuser to match. Not to mention, again, at the caliber of the car that you are purchasing, nods. Brother, you have night vision to see things that other people can't. It's incredible. And then you have the Porsche headlights, the iconic headlight design, the front grille, the front cameras, all. You bought this car for a reason. You bought this car so that you had the perfect SUV, GT, cruiser, whatever. That's why you bought this car. And then the interior, it has to complement the driver, right? So you have carbon fiber on the doors, you have Bose audio sound system, you have the iconic driver side ignition system. You also have houndstooth interior, the turbo marking on the headrest to let you know that you have a turbo if you forgot. And remember, you bought this car, you didn't care who came with you. It's whoever can fit in there. And that's why it has 4 seats total. That means it only fits 2. So your homies, it gotta be 3 homies, are fitting in this car. And the homies get to have their own climate control. I mean, that's the homie hauler. So whether it being a day at the track or a day at the range with the homies, this is the exact reason why we have this car.
Or if that's not quite your speed, we have this 2014 Cayenne Diesel. We've got 3-inch custom Bilstein lift on it, made by Eurowise. BBS, 18x8s, nice grabber tires. This thing, you can tell it gets used. That's the point, you know, while you're at the track with that, you go to the range, nice, you know, weekend warrior for your off-road needs. Clearly getting all of the use. The best part, still getting about 25 miles a gallon on this. When it's got the tune, and average about 30, which is even better. Wonderful Eurowise topper. We've got the 23.0 tent, nice spare on the back. Loves to see the dirt. This thing performs absolutely phenomenally. Got the Baja designs on the front, and then also up here, you've got your lights for your ditch.
All right, now while the Cayenne Coupe Turbo is going to be a lot faster on the road, she's right. This is your perfect off-road vehicle. It's a diesel, and it gets great gas mileage, or diesel mileage. But the interior, you're really getting the same thing. Yeah, you don't have the Alcantara. Yeah, you don't have like the crazy carbon fiber, but it's the same car and considerably quite cheaper. An example of a Cayenne diesel typically goes for around 25 to 30K. Not a lot of mileage, and remember, it's a diesel, right? So it's lubricating itself as it drives. $25,000 to $30,000, and you have a Cayenne in diesel, and you can haul. I mean, I get in this, and I'm familiar. It's the same car. It's the same interior. Yeah, I have a different shifter, but in the end of the day, it's a Cayenne. And that's why our friend Jay bought this car. And a couple of the key differences, obviously, right? It's a little bit older, so the clusters are different. The infotainment system's a bit different. But all of the buttons and everything are in the same place. All the controls feel the same. So if I wanted to, say, upgrade or have two Cayennes, I'd get into this and I'd feel exactly where I'm supposed to be. So for District Imports YouTube channel's first premiere, we're actually doing our owner spotlight. And this is where we ask questions to our friend Jay about why he picked this car, so on and so forth. So Jay, how's it going, sir?
Hey, how's it going, man?
Thank you so much for coming into the channel.
Yeah, no problem.
First things first, man. What is it?
It is a 2014 Porsche Cayenne Diesel, so it's a 958.1 chassis.
Now, what inspired you to buy this particular car?
So I had like kind of a weird like off-road car journey for a little while. I had a Gen 2 Ford Raptor.
Hell yeah.
I had a Lexus GX 470. Both of those cars, while they were really awesome, they were really, really great in their own right. I really wanted something that was like something I could do like off-road on the weekends and have a good time.
Right.
But also be like a solid daily driver.
Okay.
I think both my Raptor and my GX, after all the mods and suspension and wheels and tires and everything, I think we're both getting around like 12 miles per gallon.
Jeez.
Now with this guy, I'm getting like city 22 to 25 miles per gallon. Pure highway, I'm getting a little bit more than that.
Yeah.
And with like a delete and tune, I can probably be over 30.
Yeah. Oh, we don't do that. Okay, EPA. We're talking hypothetically off-road. So hypothetically,
if I were to do something like that, I didn't want to get a brand new Cayenne because I knew it was going to be something that was probably going to get screwed up. As you can see, like I don't really wash my car, right?
Yeah.
You're off-roading, you're going to hit rocks, you're going to get pinstripes.
Yeah. You can see the country pinstripe.
Yeah, I mean, I knew that this is going to be something that was going to happen. So I did not want a pristine. I just wanted something that had like a solid drivetrain, you know, something that was reliable. And this has been a fantastic car. I cannot recommend a Cayenne. I used to be of the camp that a Cayenne was a fake Porsche. The engine's in the wrong spot. There are too many seats. It is too big. It is too heavy.
Yeah.
But I will say through and through that this car has Porsche DNA all the way through it. It is a fantastic car.
That actually falls into my next question. So ownership, right? I know a lot of people, when they look at getting, you know, it retails brand new, what, 80 some, 90 some?
Yeah, I think so. Like, well, these Cayennes, I think at the time when they came out, so the Gen 2s, I think when they came out, you could probably get like a base Cayenne for maybe in the 60s, you know.
Okay. So maintenance wise, right? That's everyone's biggest question.
Sure. Yeah.
Especially for someone like me, I do all of my own maintenance, right?
Yep, I do too, typically.
What is it like to own realistically? Would it be something, and you say it's reliable, right? Is it reliable like Volkswagen GTI reliable? Or is it more like yeah, you have big punch items you got to handle. Yeah, it sucks at first and it carries on in distance. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think being a diesel motor, they, you know, are kind of a little bit of a different breed. I don't know. I'm kind of guessing and just spouting off what other people say, but supposedly these motors are really solid up to hundreds of thousands of miles. I'm at like 90 and change.
Yeah.
So, and it's still, you know, butter smooth. The drive on the highway with the, you know, suspension, everything is awesome. You got to do oil changes. It does take like 8 quarts of oil. So it takes a lot of oil.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because you got to think like, your oil container that you drain into
it's got to be big,
right?
Yeah.
Like, and you think that the one that you had for your GTI was good enough.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you got like a serious freaking problem. Like, it's filling up. No, I mean, it's, you know, the weak parts on this car, I believe, are the transfer case across all the Cayennes.
Okay.
And so they recommend doing transfer case fluid changes like every 25,000 miles or something.
Right.
You should swap the fuel filter. Which is, again, not a very difficult thing, just cumbersome because you're playing with diesel fuel.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, it's 8 quarts of oil. So, I mean, it's a little bit more expensive than, you know, 4 quarts, you know, so it's like twice as much, right?
Okay.
So, but otherwise, I mean, this thing's been a trooper. It's been a true tank. It's an awesome car to drive. It's very pleasurable.
Right.
It's rewarding. It's a fun car to drive.
Now, I know Mary went over some of the mods that you had.
Yeah.
What drove you to put mods like that? We obviously know you wanted to go off-road, a little bit of out, what is it called? Overlanding,
yeah.
Right? I know you want to go overlanding. What drove you to pick, you know, the tires, the suspension, the roof rack?
Yeah, so there's a company called Eurowise, and they are pretty much the premier company for doing anything with, you know, Volkswagen, so the Tiguan's, the Touaregs, the Cayennes, Macans, and the Audi Q7, Q5, I believe.
Yeah, same.
So they're the ones who are putting together all the stuff. So they're doing amazing things out there. I did not want to build a rock crawler. This chassis is not, I mean, it has a center locking diff.
Right.
The Gen 1 Cayennes are a lot better at off-roading than the Gen 2s and the Gen 3s because they had low gears.
Okay.
They have center locking diff, and some of them had rear locking diffs as well.
Really? Okay.
So like the turbo. And so, yeah, like at the time, maybe about 5 years ago or so, my timelines might be a little squishy on that, but you could buy a Gen 1 turbo, like a 500 horsepower SUV for like $7-8 grand.
Yeah.
You know, it had like 150,000 miles on it, but that's an awesome like starting point.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
But at the time, the hard part was to find suspension, to find, you know, you kind of had to, you know, figure it out.
Right.
But now with companies like Eurowise, so I got the build signs. I built this to be an overlander / kind of more of like a high-speed off-road type of thing.
Yeah, get there and get back, right?
Yeah,
get there, camp, come back.
Exactly. You know, like I don't want something like I go out with some of my like Jeep guys or some of my 4Runner guys that are running 37s, 40-inch tires, and they're like, yeah, I can't really go more than 50 miles an hour on the highway, or I got to tow my rig to where I'm going.
And the cabin's like, the entire time.
Yeah, exactly, right? So, I mean, they got awesome rigs, super cool, you know, purpose-built things. I'm not rock crawling in this thing. I just want to be able to do some mild off-roading, be able to go camping, take all my stuff, be able to tackle any obstacles that I really want to do, and that's what I think I built.
Outstanding. Here's a question that everybody always asks, right? Especially if you're doing your own work. If you could talk to the engineer of this car, or the engineers, what is one thing you would say to them?
Ooh, well, I don't know. I don't think that this was designed to be like an overlanding off-road car. I think it was designed to be like a rugged SUV. You know, like I want to move up to at least 33s.
Yeah.
These are 31-inch tires right now. So I'm going to have to like cut out the fender wells.
Oh, yeah.
Those fender flares, I'm going to have to cut them completely off.
Do you already know?
Because when you turn, I already, no, I cut that. So when I was on the trail, we were camping, I cut them so that I would clear because it's rubbing everywhere.
Right.
My side mount intercoolers are right in front of this thing right here.
No, yeah.
So I have a kit from Eurowise to push it up an inch. Excuse me. The plan is I'm going to do a front bumper, tubular front bumper, and rock sliders. Like to go move up to 33s once these tires run down a little bit more.
For that extra clearance?
Yeah, a little bit extra clearance, but also just, you know, just a little bit more traction, just also the look. I mean, you know, it's nicer. I have maintenance stuff. I do need to do brakes pretty soon. I got an oil change I got to do really soon. And then again, like, you know, with a diesel car, you have like AdBlue. And there are extra things that you got to check to make sure that like, you know, the exhaust gas recirculation, that thing can start clogging up. And, your diesel particulate filter can also get clogged. So, I mean, there's some things that you need to be aware of, but
And that's why we remediate that problem.
Yeah,
by-
I mean, you know, if someone were to do something like that, yeah, you know,
It wouldn't be us, though.
It would not be us.
No, absolutely
But,
not.
Yeah, I mean, there's some things to think about, but overall, the maintenance on this thing, it's just, to me, it's pretty much just like any other car.
I think that answers a lot of those, you know, fearsome questions that people want to know whether or not this would be something you could either daily or do off overlanding or off-roading. That it's probably something, I mean, you could answer this better, probably something not to be that scared of.
No, you know, like, I think there's like a misconception that like German cars, you know, Porsches, they're like real finicky and they're always, you know, they're really expensive, and it's like
the B5.
yeah, I mean, and there are some cars that are like that, but to be totally honest, like if you take care of your Porsche, like if you don't change the oil, guess what? You're gonna have a really expensive bill.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't do some certain things to take care of your car, or if you don't have a trusted mechanic to help look over your car while you own it, you can have some, you know, you can expect some really expensive bills. If you do some just basic maintenance on your vehicle, it'll last a really long time. I mean, this is, I plan on having this car to 150,000 plus miles. And I don't think that I will have a problem with that. I don't think it'll get very expensive.
Yeah.
I think that this is a really, really fantastic car.
Well, we definitely appreciate, I know that you have an incredible garage, so that's another thing that we wanted to talk about later. This man has a few cars in his garage. This is not his first Porsche. So wait, is it? That's their first?
No. So yeah, like that was the thing. Like I did not, I wanted this car for a really long time, but I was like, no, I can't have a Cayenne as my first Porsche. I should probably get like a 911, and an air-cooled 911.
Yep.
And so I have an 87 911 Carrera. It's a Targa slant nose conversion. So
that's gonna come up next.
That's
thing's beautiful.
Cool, fun car too. That's been a fun project.
And your long pride and joy Z4 Coupe.
Yeah, you know, so I have a 2008 BMW Z4M Coupe. Awesome car. Done a ton of work to that thing.
Yep.
I feel bad. I neglect the car. It just sits in the garage doing nothing. So I need to do more with the car. I need to bring it out more. So yeah.
Let us know in the comments if you want to see that 911 Targa, the 911 SE Targa, and if you want to see the BMW Z4M Coupe, because he's got to remember that car is amazing. I mean, I've seen him, I've known this man for almost 10 years, and I've seen that car like 12 times in the last 10 years.
Yeah, I don't drive it much.
So
it's bad.
Let us know in the comments if you want to see that. I hope this was informative enough for the viewers to show if this is not a scary car to own. Well, thank you, Mr. J.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Appreciate you very much.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. All right. So on to the next thing. We're going to talk about maintenance. So you want to see how we maintain a $180-some thousand car at home? Now watch this. All right, let's go.